My brothers and sisters, the day I walked into that marble conference room with Prime Minister Modi, I carried 15 years of Chinese lies on my shoulders. The cameras flashed as we sat down. The translators took their positions. But before anyone could speak, I placed a single folder on the table. Inside that folder was China's broken promise. 15 years of feasibility studies, 15 years of next quarter delays, 15 years of empty commitments for the Sahel mega dam that would have changed everything for Burkina Faso. Modi opened the folder. He read for 3 minutes. Then he looked up and said 5 words that shattered China's African monopoly. We can start next month. $24 billion, the largest infrastructure deal in West African history. Not a single Chinese yuan involved. The dam that Beijing promised for 15 years, Delhi will deliver in 6. When the Chinese ambassador heard the news, he called it economic suicide. When Beijing saw the contract details, they dispatched 3 emergency delegations within 48 hours. When President Xi's advisors briefed him on what this means for China's Belt and Road Initiative, the meeting lasted 4 hours behind closed doors. This is not just about building a dam. This is about the moment Africa stopped waiting for China's permission to prosper. My brothers and sisters, let me take you back to 2009. I was a young officer then, watching President Compaoré sign papers with Chinese officials who promised to transform Burkina Faso forever. The Sahel mega dam, 6,000 megawatts of clean energy, enough electricity to power our entire nation and sell surplus to Mali, Ghana, Niger, enough water storage to irrigate 2 million hectares during the dry season, enough economic impact to employ 200,000 people directly. $7 billion, they promised. Chinese technology, Chinese speed, Chinese commitment. We cleared 50,000 hectares of land. We relocated 12 villages. We signed environmental agreements. We waited. 2012 came. Feasibility studies need more time. 2015 came. Financing is under review. 2018 came. Technical challenges require reassessment. 2020 came. COVID has disrupted all timelines. 2023 came. They stopped returning our calls. 15 years. 15 years of our people living without reliable electricity while Chinese officials visited Beijing for consultations. 15 years of our farmers watching crops die during droughts while Chinese banks reviewed loan applications. That is when I picked up my phone and called New Delhi. The difference was immediate and shocking. Where China gave us presentations, India sent engineers. Where China offered studies, India brought solutions. Where China promised tomorrow, India started yesterday. Mr. President, India's infrastructure minister told me during our first video call, this dam should have been built a decade ago. Send us the geological surveys China completed. We'll have a construction plan ready in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. China had spent 15 years planning what India designed in 14 days. The Indian proposal was breathtaking. Not 6,000 megawatts, like China promised, but 8,500 megawatts. Not basic hydroelectric generation, but smart grid technology with AI-powered distribution. Not just electricity, but integrated water management for 5 countries. But here's what separated India from China. They brought guarantees, not promises. Larsen & Toubro would manage construction with penalty clauses for delays. Bharat Heavy Electricals would provide turbines with 25-year warranties. Tata Power would operate the facility with performance guarantees. Real companies with real accountability, not state-owned entities with political protection. My brothers and sisters, let me tell you exactly where every dollar will work, because transparency cuts through deception like light, cuts through darkness. 15 billion for the dam complex itself, concrete, steel, turbines, transmission infrastructure. The largest construction project in West African history, employing 80,000 workers during peak construction. 4 billion for regional power grid connections, high voltage lines linking Burkina Faso to 6 neighboring countries. We will become West Africa's energy hub, exporting electricity and earning foreign currency. 3 billion for irrigation systems, canals, pumping stations, distribution networks reaching every province. 2 million hectares of farmland will receive year-round water, tripling agricultural productivity. 2 billion for industrial zones powered by cheap electricity, aluminum smelting, steel production, manufacturing complexes, energy-intensive industries that were impossible before become profitable overnight. This is not aid money disappearing into government accounts. This is investment money flowing directly into jobs, infrastructure, and capability building. In Gorsi province, Fatou walks 3 kilometers every morning to fetch water for her family. Her crops fail every second year because rain is unreliable. Her oldest son left for Libya last year, seeking opportunities that don't exist here. When the Sahel Dam opens in 2030, irrigation canals will bring water to her village. Her farm will produce 3 harvests annually instead of 1. Her son will return to operate the new food processing plant powered by dam electricity. In Ouagadougou, Amadou drives a taxi that breaks down twice weekly because poor electricity damages his battery charging systems. His children study by kerosene lamps because power cuts happen daily. When our smart grid activates, his electric taxi will charge reliably on clean energy. His children will study under LED lights, powered by water flowing through Indian-designed turbines, operated by Burkinabe engineers. This is what $24 billion looks like on the ground, not in politicians' speeches, but in ordinary people building extraordinary lives. My brothers and sisters, Beijing's reaction revealed exactly how much they fear losing control over African development. Within 24 hours, Chinese state media called our deal financially irresponsible. Within 48 hours, 3 Chinese delegations landed in Ouagadougou. Within 72 hours, the Chinese ambassador requested an emergency meeting with revised proposals. $30 billion, he offered. Better terms than India, faster construction timeline, more advanced technology. I looked at him calmly and asked one question. Where were these capabilities for 15 years? He had no answer. Because there was no answer. China's sudden competence only highlighted their previous deception. They could have built our dam any time. They chose not to because they thought we had no alternatives. Now we do. And they are terrified. For 20 years, China built their African influence on one premise. We are your only option for mega infrastructure. The West won't fund you. India can't match our scale. Only China builds modern Africa. That monopoly just ended. India proved non-Chinese alternatives exist for massive projects. More importantly, they proved non-Chinese alternatives can be superior in technology, timeline, and terms. Ghana's president called the day after our announcement. Can India build dams in Ghana too? Nigeria's energy minister requested meetings with Indian infrastructure companies. Kenya wants to discuss hydroelectric partnerships. Suddenly, Africa has choices. And when Africa has choices, Africa wins. This will be the smartest dam in Africa. Indian engineers are incorporating AI for water flow optimization, predictive maintenance systems, and automated power distribution management. Smart sensors will monitor everything: water levels, equipment performance, environmental impact in real time. Satellite connectivity enables remote operation and emergency response coordination. But here's the revolutionary part. Complete technology transfer. No black boxes, no proprietary restrictions. All technical knowledge shared with Burkinabe engineers. In 10 years, our people will design and build dams for other African nations. The expertise stays here. The knowledge multiplies here. The benefits compound here. The Sahel Mega Dam will reshape West African economics beyond electricity generation. Lake Traoré, the massive reservoir behind our dam, will become the region's largest inland water body. Fishing communities will prosper. Tourism will flourish. River navigation will connect landlocked areas to coastal markets. Reliable electricity will attract manufacturing that requires massive power consumption. Aluminum smelting, data centers, steel production, industries that were impossible become profitable. Mali's farmers will irrigate cotton fields year-round. Niger's grain production will stabilize despite climate change. Ghana will process cocoa with consistent power supply. My brothers and sisters, Washington and Brussels are not panicking because they love us. They are panicking because they are losing control. For decades, they kept Africa dependent on their financial systems. Our resources flowed north. Our youth migrated north. Our development required their approval. But when Burkina Faso gets reliable electricity from Indian technology, financed with rupee franc mechanisms, their banks earn nothing. Their currencies lose influence. Their control weakens. Every megawatt generated by our dam is a vote for a multipolar world. Every job created by Indian investment is a step toward African independence. Close your eyes and imagine West Africa in 2031. The Sahel Mega Dam generates enough clean electricity to power 50 million people. Manufacturing complexes along the Black Volta River process raw materials into finished goods. Agricultural productivity has tripled through reliable irrigation. Young engineers who learned at Indian-funded technical colleges now design infrastructure for other African nations. The expertise spreads from Burkina Faso to Ghana, from Mali to Nigeria, from Senegal to Kenya. African cotton becomes African textiles. African bauxite becomes African aluminum. African potential becomes African prosperity. My brothers and sisters, when Chinese officials watch our dam generate its first megawatt, they will learn what Africa teaches all great powers. We are not your backup plan. We are sovereign nations with choices. China had 15 years to build this dam. India will complete it in 6. That's the difference between making promises and keeping them. That's the difference between treating Africa as a market and treating Africa as a partner. The concrete is already being mixed. The turbines are already being manufactured. The transmission lines are already being planned. This dam will generate African prosperity for the next century. The age of Chinese infrastructure monopoly in Africa is ending. The age of competitive partnerships is beginning, and it started the day we decided African patience has limits, but African potential does not. The water will rise, the turbines will spin, Africa will power its own future, and China will watch from the sidelines, wondering why they thought we would wait forever for their permission to prosper. We are just getting started.